I also wanted to talk to you about this idea that we're based on some things that have happened recently in real estate. There's a lot of agents that are deciding that they don't want to be agents anymore, right?
Well, again, some people get into the business when things are good,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And once things, it takes other skills and abilities to survive the cyclical nature of real estate. They can't handle it, so they get out.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
yeah.
Which, quite frankly, I think that's good because the people who remain are the professionals, the top professionals who know how to navigate the markets.
Yeah, indeed. We've always been told about the 80-20 rule. I think it's more like a 90-10 rule where 10% of the agents are doing 90% of the business. And I think that's true. I think that even good, bad, or indifferent markets, I think that's generally true. And if you take out, you may see that slip a little bit because if you take out all the bottom end, you may see it go to an 80-20 or 70-30 because there'll be fewer agents. There'll just be fewer at the bottom end of that that chart.
And there's a lot of changes that have been going on in the industry, with regard to the NAR, National Association of Realtors, antitrust suit, and agents not knowing how to navigate working with buyer brokerage agreements and all sorts of stuff. So,
Yeah.
but there are people who are still getting into the business because I do teach pre-licensing.
Right.
And,
Sure.
and I see that there are still people who are
Taking the classes.
they're still taking it to get in. So you always got people coming and going, but there's more that are leaving.
Yeah, I just had a young man, I was just telling Carl earlier today, I had a young man come to me and talk to me about joining the team and perhaps deciding he wanted to join the team. And I think I talked him out of it. I think I spent a good 45 minutes with the young man, and I got a feeling he's going to, maybe, and he just passed his test. So I'm not sure what he's going to do.
Yeah. Well,
it's tough.
you might have, maybe I should become a career counselor.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's tough. I really think it's tough for very, very, very young people to get into real estate because I think buyers and sellers generally are looking for somebody with some level of experience in it. And I think so when you're first starting out, it's really tough. And if you're very young, it's hard to convince somebody you've been doing it a while.
I remember when I first got in the business that there was this guy in our office. He looked like a baby.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if this guy had started shaving yet. But that's what he had to overcome from the beginning. But he was very successful.
Well, that's good.
Because he dealt with that up front. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't hide it.
No, don't hide it.
No.
You're probably wondering whether I'm old enough to drive. But,
right. Let me tell you.
But he went on and pivoted over to show what he could do. But for that person who wants to get started, they got to realize it's a business and they need to be capitalized like any business.
Exactly. Yeah. You need to go in it with the idea you're not going to cash a paycheck for months, maybe many months.
Many months.
And that's very likely. But also, I understand a lot of lenders are deciding they don't want to be lenders anymore.
No. Because, again, when things are great and the fish are jumping into the boat, you don't have to know how to fish. Right. You don't even have to know how to use a fishing pole.
Right, yeah.
You just catch them.
And I think you're right. I think what happens is it kind of, it thins the herd, it culls the herd or whatever, and you're basically talking about you're leaving ideally the people who are successful and are doing things right and doing things the right way and taking good care of their clients, they're going to remain because they're going to continue to do business. And so if we end up with a better pool of lenders and a better pool of realtors, I think it's good for the general public. It's good for the people out there buying and selling homes. So overall, it happens, and we've seen this many times, haven't we, Steve? It's just the market changes, and so does the amount of people wanting to participate in that market as professionals. I think
this is exciting stuff. I'm starting to get choked up just talking about this.
I know. Try to calm down. The thing that encourages me is that if like you said, some people are still trying to get into it, but it's much fewer, I'm sure. But if we end up with a better group of people doing this work, maybe that'll improve our image a little bit too, because the image of realtors and lenders is always taking hits.
I like the idea that this young man who you were talking about joining the team, he's thinking right, because I think more agents, new agents ought to be on a team.
Yeah.
So they can get trained, they can get mentored.
Yep.
And I think that's the way to go. And even if you're even older, there's nothing wrong with being on a team. I love the team concept.
Yeah, I think it's worked well for us and my partners. I think they would agree.